Todd Wilkinson invented winning. And here at Oklahoma, we uphold the standard. This is the Champion Standard Podcast, where analytics meet film and the tailgate fuels the passion. Touchdown! From deep dives in the film room to advanced stats that tell the real story. Ready? We bring Sooner football into focus like never before. The roar of the palace on the prairie, the legacy of champions, and the pursuit of the next one. It's all right here, so lock in, because this is Oklahoma football. This is the Champion Standard.
Let's go! Let's go! Go!
Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back. Rob and Brad here for another Champion Standard episode. Pre-Easter weekend, I guess you could say pre-Easter weekend. Is that fair to say? Easter's next weekend, so everybody enjoy that next weekend. Rob and I are going to talk about what we're hearing out of spring camp early and some of the guys we're hearing about and just some of the news coming out of spring camp today. We'll do our normal spring sports updates. Got a few things to update there. May mention the Heineke injunction and a few other things up next.
That's my standard. That's my standard. My champion standard. Champion standard. Pull up with the answers. Yeah, the answers. The champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah, yeah. That's my standard. My champion
Oh,
standard.
another warm spring afternoon, man. Have you mowed yet?
Great. A little. I got my Scots down. That's the most important part.
Oh.
For all you got to get your crabgrass killer, crabgrass Scott.
You said
this is the time
Scots,
to
and
do it.
I almost tried to break into my Scottish accent because of those commercials.
Break it to the Scots.
Thank you.
Crabgrass killer.
I knew you'd be able to do it better than me, so thank you. I served you up there.
No, you
Those are
gotta
awesome.
take your. You gotta take your. You gotta check the temp of your soil. So make sure your wifey doesn't or your SO doesn't see you taking the kitchen thermometer out and check the temp. It needs to be at 55 degrees.
Interesting.
Mine was at 55 degrees, so it was ready to go.
Uh-huh.
So I put my crabgrass killer just to make sure. Okay. I didn't do much last year. I was probably like the second or third worst lawn. I don't want to be the best lawn.
Yep.
Certainly
That's
don't want to be
pressure.
the worst lawn. I just want to be in the middle
Same.
the road. I want to look good, but I don't. So I learned all that stuff from my grandpa. My grandpa was, he was out.
Master seeder.
Yeah, master seeder. Yeah, he was out. He was his water bill was even years ago. It was ridiculous. $200-$300, and he was just out there seeding all the time. Perfect down to the schedule. This year, I'm doing a little bit better. I'm staying ahead of everything.
Confession to make here. I have mine treated. I pay to have it treated because I'm not smart enough to do it. And I got someone else that takes care of it. I still manicure it a little bit, but yeah, the treatments are great, man. Don't ever have to worry about crabgrass, weeds, stickers, any of that nonsense. And it's green most of the time. So it's awesome.
Yep.
So in today's episode of talking about our lawns, just kidding. So spring practice has been, let's see, it started on the
25th,
9th, 10th. Didn't spring start on the 9th? Yeah. Had a practice a couple of days ago. You start to hear things about people or units or, just what people are seeing in general. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Do our normal weekly spring sports update. So let's see where to start. I'm going to start with the bad. Baseball team goes to Austin for a 3-game series and gets swept. Number 2 Longhorns are pretty good baseball team down there. They took 2 of them to extra innings and lost by a run. So, they had a chance to win 1 or 2 in the series and couldn't do it. So tough road trip down to Austin. OU women's basketball. Here we are again. Made it to the Sweet 16. Can't seem to break through. We seem to face one of the big programs every year. It's a UConn, it's a South Carolina, it's a LSU, you name it. We can't break through. We're still not quite there. Jenny's doing a great job in Norman. But
they're comparing it to the men's league. They are competing. They are pushing it. Okay, like they're every year this team better. They're getting a little bit better, but like you said, they're not breaking through. But lots of positivity. Lots of positivity coming from that program, and you can't. They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna break through. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, these other programs, the UConns and the South Carolinas, these powerhouses, they just have athletes across the board.
Yeah.
OU, they got Chavez, and they've got a few more, but they just don't. They're not stacked. They don't have 5, 7, 8 players up and down their bench that can, go out there and get it done. So unfortunately, they get it handed to them a little bit when they play some of these bigger teams. So hopefully they can break through next year, get to an Elite 8, or make a Final Four run or something. What do we have here? Piano and Krinsky. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. OU softball. They had a 22-game winning streak going. They won the Friday game. Came back. They were shut out through 6 innings. Came back and rallied and ended up winning that game in extra innings. And then yesterday they took a loss for the first time in 23 games. First conference loss. Their offense was sputtering both Friday and Saturday night by their standards. Of course, scoring 3-4 runs isn't what we've been used to here lately.
Right.
Today they broke out and won 8-4. So the offense kind of came alive a little bit. Pitching's been holding up pretty good behind Lowry, which has been encouraging to see because once we start playing the Texas, the Tennessees, the Floridas, just start going down the list. It's going to be really tough. You gotta have both sides of the ball, of course. So glad they won that one today to actually win the series. I think they're behind Texas in the conference standings right now. So,
oh wow.
Texas is rolling, man. They've won like 29, 30 in a row. It's kind of crazy.
That's right.
Yep. So hopefully we can get them here in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna knock them down.
Yep, for sure. I guess that's probably it on spring sports right now. I haven't kept up with gymnastics. I don't know when nationals are or whatever. I think that's in a couple of weeks, so we'll have an update on that here soon. NFL drafts in about a month, so you and I can maybe highlight some OU players here in a few weeks and maybe have a semi-draft special podcast.
Okay.
I think that'd be good to do after spring football's over. Owen Heineke files an injunction to try to get another year. I thought that issue might have been done and over. I didn't expect him to do that, but we caught wind of it early next week here on TFB. Charlie posted it early, and it sounds like he filed his. Is it a lawsuit, sort of? I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then so maybe get a ruling on that here in the next week or so. Before it needs to happen before the draft because he's supposed to be, going out for the draft. So the timing of that's really important. So we'll see how that plays out. Love to get him back from depth standpoint at linebacker, man. That'd be huge.
I mean, he'd be your third backer because Cole has got one spot locked down, Kip's got the other. But that'd be great.
No, you can't have enough backers.
You're going to end up playing at least 4 or 5.
Exactly. Spring football. So that's what we jumped on here to talk about today. Practice been going a couple weeks. They had a, not a spring. Yeah, they had a spring, not spring game, but a spring, what you call it?
Scrim, live.
Thank you.
Live period. Yeah.
So I don't know if like a certain names popped out, but there's a lot of newcomers and a lot of guys that BV has mentioned here in the last few weeks. One that I've been wanting to talk about, and we can talk about him more here in a little bit, is Cole Sullivan, the transfer from Michigan. Hearing a lot of great things about him. A lot of the players are raving about him, his size, which he's 6'4". You and I talked about it before we jumped on the pod. Same size as Stutzman, but people are talking like him, like he's just a little more athletic and rangy, which we thought Stutzman was all that. But just kind of hearing a little more buzz from that Cole camp, that he's just a very impressive out there. And let's face it, he's one of BV's bell cows that he went out and got, right?
Yeah,
so
immediately. It was one of his first or second transfers.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, they identified him early and had him locked down. So they with Owen moving on, or with the NCAA stuff, and knowing that was going to be an issue, they went and made a move to go grab arguably one of the best transfer linebackers out there, free agent linebackers, to come in, plug and play. And that's gonna be interesting, because we've had Danny in that role for so long. We plugged and played Owen, and now we've got Cole. Obviously, Cole made the move because Danny's a 4th round pick, playing for the Saints, having a great start to his career. All great recruiting points for Brent. Brent could go out and pick probably the best linebacker in free agency every time. And that, but also the number of linebacker coaches that we have on staff. I mean, obviously, the linebacking room, it gets a lot of attention here at OU's, and it always has been, for decades. So,
right.
I mean, I don't try to jump on hype trains too much, right? Like I usually pick like one area and just run with it. It's kind of hard not to jump on Sullivan's hype train, just because of his athletic profile. He's already produced at a D1 level, with playing against the Big Ten, playing in the Big Ten, who has won the last 3 national championships. He's played against quality teams. He comes in. Now he's got all these coaches. He's going to be successful. I don't think there's that's really much of a stretch. So you should be jumping on that hype train for Cole, because it just aligns. Like, the stars are aligning for him to have a really, really great season.
Yeah, he's primed and ready. You don't have to worry about him catching up to the speed of the SEC. Like if we would have gotten a backer from one of the directional schools out there, you would have kind of worried about that. But yeah, he's ready to go, and hopefully he makes a huge difference in that room. A couple other names I wanted to throw out that BV has mentioned in the last couple of weeks, and just even kind of outside of spring too. Danny Okoye's name keeps coming up a little bit, that they're really trying to get him up to speed as quickly as possible. He's between him and PJ, you can't find more freak of athletes.
No,
right? It's just harnessing them and getting them to fire, as a football player. They're athletic as they come in the country, but just getting them to, develop into those prototypical DNs, your RMTs, and those other guys is kind of where they're at. I mean, if Okoye comes along, PJ, it's his contract year and he fires, that's a deadly combination, along with Taylor Wine and a couple others. Looking forward to it. So hoping Okoye comes along. Heard his name a little bit. Brent also mentioned Nigel Smith as a guy that had the best offseason as far as getting his body in shape. He converted from DN to D tackle, had to move inside, put on some weight. They said he's came a long way. So I really think they're expecting him to get into that 4-6 man rotation on the interior, which I feel like you and I talked about it last year. That 4-man rotation, we wouldn't see the likes of that anytime soon. Like that was a once every 5 or 10 years scenario with those 4 guys.
And we're talking Jaden Jackson, David Stone, Dominic Williams, and Grayson Holton.
Correct.
All 4 are going to be draft picks. To have them in that rotation, I mean, that's just something that just doesn't happen very often. And it hasn't happened here at OU in a long, long time. I mean, you're talking about days of like Matthew Romar, and you have to go back to like Jamarcus McFarland's and whoever his sidekick was. I mean, like we've never had 4 guys that are all going to be legit draft picks. And now you go in this year, you kind of talk a little bit about the IDL room is, you've got Jaden Jackson and David Stone that are missing spring, which is allowing these young guys to get all the reps, which is good.
Absolutely. Yep.
They need to get as many reps as possible. And you saw some of those clips of James Hill that he posted. One of the things I noticed is Trent Wilson, freshman. It looked like he was the first one in the line. So he's the first one. He's the first dude starting all of these, all the indie drills. And so I'm like, that's interesting. You usually, I mean, unless, he caught it, went up to the line, late, but it looked like Trent Wilson was first, maybe. But I mean, from the clip I saw, James Hill posted all kinds of clips. I mean, I don't know. There's like freaking 30 of them out there. But, Trent Wilson getting those reps, Jaden and David Stone kind of out of the mix right now, which is, those guys are going to be your 1-2. Got to find the 3. You got to have 3-4. Like you have to have a really good, if you can't find 4, you really have to have a strong 3.
Sure.
Like a strong 3. And maybe that's Nigel Smith. Maybe that's Trent Wilson. But we got to, you've got a good quality of crop of players there. All, not, household names. But what you do have as a household name is probably the best developer on your team right now in Todd Bates.
Right.
I mean, he's on fire right now. I mean, he is absolutely on fire.
Yep.
And if you're going to have to find a 3-4, that's the kind of guy that you want to be finding that. So
yeah, not concerned at all with Bates leading the charge with those guys. If it takes a small step back from last year's group, so be it. That doesn't mean it's going to be like inferior to the rest of the conference or anything. It just means they're not quite as good. But so you mentioned Trent Wilson, inside. We talked about Okoye, and both of us like Boganowski to get a lot more reps this year. You just start, you start thinking about these guys that maybe will emerge as the new guys coming on. So corner, I think we already have those guys, and we know who those are going to be. Between Eli and Courtney, and I haven't heard necessarily any other names there. So defensive side of the ball, I think we've kind of mentioned the guys that we've been hearing a lot of noise about in camp. Another guy BV mentions, and the other thing that, I've talked about before, when BV says something in the spring, it oftentimes plays out in the fall. Like he's not one to blow smoke. Like BV's like pretty straight. I mean, he's straight to the point on a lot of stuff, and it's not coach speak. It's beautiful.
I know. I mean,
love it.
It's different because you talk to Leighton Kiffin or the Tebow or any of these other. I mean, like they're salesmen. Like they're trying. Right. They're doing different things. They're going to the media, maybe hyping somebody up that needs. Right. A player that needs to be encouraged, or a player that needs to be this, or they're saying we need to improve here to light a fire in a player that is struggling. Brent, his passion and his laser focus and his the Duracell energy bunny that he is, where he's just like go. He doesn't have time for any of that shit. Like he is like full on just this is the truth, this is what I see, and here you go. And when he goes, especially at those those coaches shows, I mean, he goes into it, man. Like you can learn football from him, like genuine football, not like sideshow stuff. I mean, like real genuine football from the guy. So yeah, you're right. I mean, he gets up in the spring. Everything he's saying is most likely going to play out in fall.
It's good to listen to Brent all year round because he's not blowing smoke. He's just shooting from the hip. This is what he sees, and that's what he's telling you. So I bring that up because he mentioned Isaiah Cetania is probably his favorite player on the team, and he doesn't throw out favorite player very often, right? So he goes, that's not taking anything away from anybody else. The guy comes in every day. He works in practice, has great work ethic. He just shows up every day, and he out of everybody, he mentioned Cetania, and Brent's a defensive guy, so you think he's going to throw out a defensive guy, right?
Well, he chooses the player that can take a short pass to the house. So I mean, as a defensive coordinator, no matter how exotic, how much disguise, if the offense has a player that could take an 8-yard stick or an 8-yard shallow mesh route on an 80-yard touchdown or a 60-yard touchdown, that would, and knowing that he's on your team, I can see that for sure. I mean, because Cetania was an explosive monster last year. I mean, it's a bummer he didn't quite get over that 1,000 yards, but he had some of the most explosive plays as an OU wide receiver that we haven't seen in a long, long time. You have to go to like Marvin Mims and then maybe go back, like
CD a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legit one. So like taking those short routes where as a defense you're supposed to route, tackle, and rally. I totally agree with Brent and his mindset there on why he chose Signeta as his favorite player. And now you got another one in Terrell Harris.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked Livingston.
In Livingston, yeah.
We might have a nice little 3-headed monster at that receiving room. So yeah, he called him out specifically. I know we've talked defense a little bit. Yeah. As far as, some names we're hearing out of camp on the offensive side of the ball, hearing a lot of good things about the tight end room from the coach on down.
Yeah.
And it's like Hanson, Beers, and don't ask me to pronounce the other guy's name. It starts with a D.
Jake.
Let's just go with Jake D. How's that? You're going to try to say his name and totally butcher it. Don't do it.
I don't want to. No,
don't do it.
I won't do it.
Hearing a lot of great things about that room that, they just look different, and they should, because they went out and totally revamped the room, got a new coach. They said Witten looks extremely comfortable in his role. Your video froze again, which is just weird, but anyway, hopefully there you go. You're back. Thanks.
Okay.
You're staring at me. I was like, hey. So the tight end room, hearing good things about that. The running back room, Torrey Blaylock's out for the spring. Xavier Robinson, I think, I know he's been dressed. I'm not sure if he's getting reps. I think he is. So X-Rob, I think, has been out there. And then you have Hatton. I'm going to start calling him Des Walker instead of Deceivin, because it doesn't roll off the tongue easily. So we'll call him Des Walker. So Hatton, Walker, Lloyd, Avant. I always forget how you say that. So those guys are getting some reps with Blaylock being out. Offensive line, the normal cast of characters are kind of your current ones. Fasusi, Foji, EPL, Makala. Who's the other one? Transfer.
Yeah.
Is it a Marion Thomas?
Marion Harris. Harris. Yeah, as you're right.
Halfway right. So those guys have been running with the ones, and of course you got the Ozetas and the other guys, that came in, backing them up. So
that's kind of the hype train that I'm jumping on.
Yeah, I was trying to segue over to you.
Yeah, no, you're giving me the segue. I like it.
I'm trying.
So my that I am buying or hopping on the hype train of the run game because not because where we finished last year. We finished like 120th in conference play out of 134 teams in rushing yards. yards per game, which was like 2.8 or whatever. Not good, but not because where we finished last year and us just finding generic improvement. I am jumping on the hype train and saying this run game is going to be very good. Like, very good. Like, I would say probably top 6 in the SEC, which would kind of put us in the top, like, 40 in the run game.
That's a giant leap, Rob.
It is, but I don't, I just think that there are, when you look at all the moves that we've made in the offseason, even with Marion Harrison, who's a really good run blocking right tackle, and EPL, who's a run blocking left guard, we didn't make that change from Ozida until really midway through the season last year. And then you've got Fasusi, who's growing up, and Foje, who's growing up. And then you also add Jonathan Hatton as your third back. I mean, you remember in fall camp last year, we were having this like musical chairs with the running backs. We didn't know who was going to play because there was people banged up and everything. I'm jumping on the hype train saying we're going to have an offensive line that has not been solidified like this since 2023, or actually really more like 2022. An offensive line where it's going to be pretty much settled. There might be a move or maybe one move that could be made in fall camp, but for the most part, you're not going to have musical chairs there. You're not going to have musical chairs at the running back position. You're going to actually have tight ends that are going to understand how to just block the scheme and can block the scheme.
Right.
And I know Ben gets a lot of crap from last year for his run game, but in getting away from the quarterback run game and handing the ball off and sticking to what is hot, I really feel like we'll end up being a really, really good run offense next year. I'll jump on that hype train for sure. Anything, because Brent was quoted saying we need to kick ass, and he was like, we need a kick ass run game. We're gonna be kicking ass. And so what he kept saying, he said it a couple times. I'm jumping on that. I really think we will have, quote, a kick ass run game when we go into conference play next year, which would be our first game would be Georgia, right?
Yes.
Yep. So I think going into Georgia, we'll have a good run game.
We better take a decent run game on the road to Georgia. So
they don't. That's what I'm saying. And I think every offseason move has been made to get them there. All of it, like from growing up the offensive line, developing them, to bringing in Jason Witten, to bring in McCullough, to bringing in Marion Harrison. Every move that has been made has been saying we need to have what Brent quoted, a kick-ass run game.
Right.
And for us to go into next year and not have that would be not good for the season. So I'm jumping on the hype train and saying we're gonna have it. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, and to go along with that, I read some comments, that Arbuckle is embracing trying to have more balance in the offense and not stick to a what was it? Not stick to I don't know, system. Don't worry about sticking to the system, to just like have balance, which is exactly what you're talking about, because we never established a true running back run game last year, right? Let's say running back run game.
Right. The running back run game. I mean, it was, well, that's where
it was part of it. Yeah.
That was part of the problem, was leading too much into Mateer early in games. His efficiency dropped. His efficiency dropped late in games because we were utilizing him so much early, where everything about what I'm kind of reading through the tea leaves is saying, hey, no, you've got 3 running backs, X-Rob, Torrey Blaylock, and now Jonathan Hatton. At OU, you're going to have a influx of talent from the running back position each and every year. Don't we still have Micah Rhodes in 2028, which is like a top 50 recruit at running back, right?
I think that's Yeah, I think that's the name. Sorry, I've lost sight of it. But yeah, we got a top
like
top running back coming in. Mhm.
every single year. I mean,
Yep.
like Taylor Tatum was a top
Yep.
running back, didn't pan out, but we always are
We're
gonna be
still
stacking those
recruiting the
running backs.
top running backs. Yeah.
Hand the ball off, and I think
Mhm.
what at Washington State, that's not what that's not what they had. At Western Kentucky, they didn't have that. And so, and same thing with Lincoln Riley, because at Texas Tech, they didn't have it. At Eastern Carolina, they didn't have it. Here, OU is a little bit different. You got to change a little bit. You got to mature or whatever. You got to adjust it. Hand the ball off to your back so you can lean on them early, get them going, keep them hot. And then when the game starts unfolding, then you unleash your quarterback with those powerful legs to start, even adding a whole nother level, a whole nother difference maker to the game late in game. So, and I think that's where I think TFB mentioned, or TFB has mentioned it before about how Kevin Wilson kind of giving him that maturity a bit, because knowing that Kevin Wilson's been here before, he's been at OU, he understands what these kind of players are. So I'm jumping on the hype train for the run game. I think that anything that's said about the run game being good, I'm jumping on that for sure.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. No, I hope you're right. I actually, if you're correct, I just think I think it, lack of a better word, it's kind of like the Dakota ring that unlocks like a serious playoff championship run. If we can establish a run game and this offensive line can come around like we think it can. Because it was just missing last year. You've thrown out all the stats. We've been in the hundreds offensively in so many categories last year. That's not going to cut it in any league, much less SEC, Big Ten, or whatever. So I hope you're right. I hope there's a huge leap made on that side of the ball, and that's been their focus in the offseason. You can see it with the changes that were made. Brent has done a fantastic job the last 3 years on addressing the problems in the offseason. I think I feel like Brent's arrived. I feel like he's finally made it as far as like a head coach is concerned after taking over the reins with the defense. And he's kind of becoming that CEO, delegating authority. And I feel like he's made it. He made it this past year, and now he's just kind of tweaking things just a little bit here and there. But he knows the offensive side of the ball, and it's blatantly obvious that's what needs to improve.
Yep.
We went 33 minutes, Rob, and we have not said the word John Mateer, the name John Mateer.
I know. That's not great.
Isn't it?
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
no,
it's good to get everyone else some attention.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I maybe that's a sign. Maybe we think, his thumb's healing up. We've seen some video of him throwing. He's worked on his mechanics. He's done all the right things, worked on the mechanics, footwork, all that stuff. That's all great when you're inside the, Everest Center, right? Practicing, or on the field practicing in the spring. But when the lights come on, is he going to resort back to a little bit of happy feet? Does all of a sudden he start throwing a little sidearm again? That remains to be seen. But between coaching changes and everything else, and what's funny is Witten may be able to offer him some stuff too, just from his professional days. He's a Hall of Famer, so he's seen things when he used to play with Romo and other things like that from a tight end perspective. So I think he's got 5-6 people that he can lean on. And we've heard Bradford, kind of being around campus a little more. So it's not like he doesn't have 3-4 guys in his ear constantly.
He has 3 quarterback coaches. Technically,
I know.
I mean, if you watch that
crazy
clip, you see Arbuckle, and then you see the quarterback. I can't pronounce his name. What's the J quarterback coach? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
You're not gonna try his name.
I'm not gonna butcher. I'm not butchering a name. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that to you, and I'll.
Well, here, like, Arbuckle's the quarterback's coach. Okay,
Yep.
like he's gonna be like he's the quarterback's coach. If there's gonna be improvement to his game, it's gonna come from Arbuckle. But having Arbuckle and Kevin Wilson and the quarterback's coach, three guys in that room that can come in and out of that room. I mean, he's got all the. I mean, he's an OU quarterback. Yeah, you're gonna be an OU quarterback. You're gonna have a bunch of resources, and I think my expectation of him next year is playing like a fifth-year senior that's been in the same philosophy for the last 5 years. He has known nothing different for the last 5 years. For us as Sooner fans, we've known him for a couple of years, but he has been in the same philosophy for 5 years.
Yep.
So imagine if you have a run game that's good, not great. I'm not going to put him like upper echelon, but good. And then you have a quarterback that plays like a fifth-year senior. That's a good offense. That's a good offense.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: it has to be, because, I mean, OU's. If you look at the career snaps, right? There's double the amount of career games on the offense side than there is on the defensive side. There's like 200 plus something starts on the offensive side, and the defensive side has like 130.
Right.
So there's double the number of experience on the offensive side. So if you're going to be looking at a 10-win season, you're coming off a 10-win season, you're going into the next season, you want to replicate that 10-win season or better, then it has to come from that offensive side. Like if you're wanting to push the ceiling of your offense, of your team, that offense has to take off, and it starts with Mateer and Arbuckle and the run game.
Yep. It's all intertwined, right? So, there's running the ball. Yeah, absolutely. I came up with a phrase yesterday, Rob, and I wanted to throw it by you. I think one of the keys in the spring, unburden John Mateer. Just unburden him from feeling like he needs to be the offense. Allow him to be a true quarterback, to do what he needs to do. So I feel like he took a lot of the burden with a broken hand last year, and man, we made it and hosted a playoff game. Yeah. Even with that. So yeah, you got to unburden him, and we've talked about it. A successful running game, an O-line improving, tight end room, all of it. It's all connected. They've done the right things. So let's just see if it'll play out the way it should.
We need another way to look at it is he needs to retire the Superman cape, take the cape off. You don't have to be, stop playing superhero and just be the quarterback.
Be Clark Kent and put your glasses back on.
Yeah. Distribute the ball. Distribute the ball.
No, for sure.
Distribute the ball.
And we've seen it. We've seen flashes,
of course. Yeah.
Several good plays in a game. It's lack consistency, or he hasn't had time. It's not all been on him, but me and some others, unfortunately, have put it a lot on him. I'm for one just hoping he proves a lot of the naysayers, myself included, wrong. That he's capable of being what you talked about, a fifth-year quarterback that looks like he's been in this system, runs it to almost perfection, game in, game out, and can depend on that running game when you need to move the chains. Not even the running game, right? At this point, we need some tight ends to move those chains, right? When's the last time we saw that? I mean, we saw it out of Canada a couple of times, but honestly, like on a consistent basis, move the chains with some big tight ends that are blocking downfield. And
the tight end room, if we want to talk about that, it's always, for the last several years, or at least since Braden Willis sort of graduated, we haven't had a two-way player in that position. Like, we haven't had a guy that was just a Swiss Army knife or an all-around guy, nor have we still don't have technically a real H-back in this offense, but we need a two-way player. And I I really like Rocky Beers. I think he's a solid guy. I think he's a solid dude. I think he can be that a plus in the passing game, being a great fifth eligible, and then also give you some good work in the run game. So yeah, you're right. Unburn him. He's got to retire the cape.
He does. James actually mentioned Rocky Beers yesterday.
Oh, did he really?
Some of his notes, yeah.
Tell me, man. I think he's going to be a good one.
Yep. Quote, tight end Rocky Beers looks good to him, and Trinae Washington really did some nice work with his physique.
Cool.
I don't know what that means, but and then his final quote was, "This tight end room is going to be a major difference." That's coming from James. So, yeah, it's we've been waiting on that room to have some dudes, and we have several dudes, and we have a dude coaching them.
Yeah.
It's got some rings and, has worn the yellow jacket, right? Yellow jacket. And then what you get for the Hall of Fame, that ugly yellow
gold
jacket.
Isn't gold.
My bad.
It's gold.
Is it gold, yellow, whatever. It's not pretty, whatever color it is. So
yellow.
I'm trying to think if I've heard any other names coming out of camp. It's still pretty early. Spring game is 3 weeks from yesterday. So it'll be interesting to kind of see, what format they do in the game, if they actually let good go on good, if they allow a lot of contact. I've kind of gotten the feeling just from things I'm hearing that Brent's going to be a little more cautious with people as far as physicality and practices. And I think that's just because for two seasons in a row, and I think we can say this, 2 seasons in a row, we went into the season banged up.
Yes.
In some form or fashion. O-line has just been getting pummeled by those defensive guys, and they limp into the season, which is terrible. And that has to stop. Those guys need to be fresh and start the season somewhat fresh if you can.
But you can't put bubble wrap on them.
No,
they still have to.
I was careful.
You gotta get
I was
your
careful
team.
not to say bubble wrap.
Yeah,
I was.
You still got. From what I mean, you're gonna have your thud time. You're gonna have your live periods, and Brent being the old school coach that he is, he's gonna take every minute of physicality that's allowed by him in the NCAA. But I think you've got to maybe work on your rotation a little bit, especially in fall camp, to kind of get your 2s and 3s in there a little bit more often, especially with this offensive line, Brett. I feel like this offensive line is going to work itself out rather quickly. I think there's no question Basusi's a left tackle. There's no question EPA's a left guard. Michael is your center
going into a season.
So you're going to end up having your one offensive line. There might be one move that can be made to make things a little bit better. But besides that, you're right. You should not be coming out of fall camp banged up on your one, like your first offensive line, unless something. I mean, having a feel for what your physical practices are like. We don't want to be starting the season again. Musical chairs at running back and offensive line.
Yeah, guys are going to get hurt. They just do.
Sure,
freak things happen in practice. That's just the way it works. You usually lose 1 or 2 guys before the season starts, and you're kind of like, "Oh crap, what are we going to do?" But it works itself out. And I think we might have learned something from Indiana. Indiana is not a team that practiced for 2-3 hours at a time. Very efficient practice.
Signetti even mentioned it that he did not. He didn't ramp up practice. I think so there's like 2 thoughts. You either like ramp up to the game or you start up high and you come down.
Right.
I think Signetti started up high. Yep. And then just came drastically down, and just even though you're allowed to do all this work, I don't think he did. And that's where, NCAA allows you per minute on the different styles of practice that you can have. And there are coaches that will maximize that time as much as possible. But then there's coaches that are like, I don't need it to use all that. We're going to do this instead. And they do different things with their rotations too, where their ones don't go against ones all the time. Right. The ones are on threes, twos are on twos, ones, like they mix and match and everything. So, and it's always, half speed, full speed, but it's really just more like, hey, this is the work that we're getting in today. And you're right. I think Cetania was definitely on the conservative side with his team for sure. Yeah. And it didn't affect them on Saturdays, did it? So
not at all. Not at all. You want your best players fresh on Saturdays. I mean, it's kind of that simple, right? So if that means, backing off a little bit in practice, and let's face it, physicality's great. You want to be the most physical team every time you step on the field on Saturdays. But, intellectually, you want to be fresh and everything too. So you don't want guys just completely worn out physically and mentally leading up to Saturdays. It all plays in together. Indiana, kind of had the playbook on that this past year and shocked everyone coming out of nowhere. But
yeah, I've actually had conversations with this with coaches before about this philosophy on practice on, ramp up, ramp down. And I talked to the coach who liked the ramp up. He liked to start the weeks light because you kind of, it's understanding. It's all about understanding the personality of your team. And he felt like he had the personality of a team that needed to wake the F up when it got to Friday nights. And so he would start the practice light. Thursday was their hardest practice before the game. The day before the game, they had their hardest practice. They go Friday night and they went and beat the crap out of people. And they did it over and over and over again. That's completely different than some other coaches, but there are coaches that like to ramp up and there's coaches that like to ramp down. Guarantee you, I'm pretty sure I saw Cetania say that like he liked to start up high and then just drop down to where they were rested. But there's some teams that have to have some fire. It's just kind of what the personality of the team that you want.
Yeah.
For that coach, it was ramp up and go kick ass. So like they would ramp up and they would have their hardest practice just before the game. And then they would go and play their game and they felt like they were tuned up, ready to go.
Right. And Big Ten looks like they have it figured out the last few years, right? Can't sit here and question.
Yep.
Can't question that. They've won the last 3 titles. So they're doing something right up north, which is just crazy.
And Oregon's looking good.
If you'd have told me the SEC go 3 straight years without a title,
I would not have taken
obviously that. Saban retiring had a little bit to do with that, but it's kind of been shocking. Now that we're in the SEC too, I'm kind of like, oof, it's weird being in the what feels like the second best conference.
Do we want to dive into that in the next 20 minutes?
We may not be. Like, we may beat the crap out of each other every week, and that's part of the problem come December. It might be, because that is a fact. I mean, it's a relentless conference. I think that's the word that Brent used. It's relentless, unforgiving conference. So it's shown that. Yeah, I pulled that up. Yep. Both those comments. Thanks for pulling those up. Somebody said the deep rotation shows beefy. Oh, sorry, you already pulled it away. It's okay. So they got something. Is it the money train? Is it?
It's a little bit of money. I mean,
a little bit of that.
The money is a factor. Yeah. Like it is.
Mark Cuban.
Sure.
I mean, a factor. Whatever. It plays into it. It just does.
Yeah, it does. It does.
When there's more money flowing around, you can say NIL, you can say what's the revenue sharing, you can say whatever you want. But if there's more money like floating around the college bank, so to speak, it ends up in certain people's hands. It can't be monitored. it can't be regulated because we don't have a regulating authority anymore. Correct?
Well, we do the
we?
CSC,
Are they called the
but
NCAA or what are they called? Because
no, it's
they
the
don't
College
exist anymore.
Sports Commission. But
Yeah.
what's
They
stupid
can't.
about that is they only denied like 15 million of the $280 pot of money, which is like, okay, it's not
Yeah.
sure.
We
Like
have
all
to.
those
They're like,
deals,
we have to do something here
yeah.
to make it look
No,
like
we've
exist.
had these NIL talks before. Like we're ways away. We're gonna get there, but we're a ways away. But yeah, the money part for the Big Ten winning as much as they have the last 3 years has something to do with it. I mean, for sure. I mean, it's not a coincidence that NIL opens up, Saban retires, power vacuum, and then now you've got yourself 3 Big Ten champions. And
those are really big
really
schools.
good teams.
Those are really big schools. Have you ever seen enrollment in some of those
They're
universities
massive, yeah.
up north? It's crazy.
Yeah. Wisconsin has like
so much
60,000
more.
or something.
Yes, 60,000 students. It's insane. There's the money train is flowing quite well up north. It just is. That's not why you necessarily win on Saturdays, but it certainly doesn't hurt. But
they've got 2 quality teams too. Oregon is looking really good, and Ohio State is looking like to make a comeback. I don't know where Indiana's gonna fall, and Penn State, they're going through a rebuild, but Oregon and Ohio State are going to be the kind of the 1-2 out of the Big Ten here soon. So
yeah, for sure,
they'll make a run.
Yep. Any other thoughts on spring camp?
How good our freshmen look. I mean, I just like everybody else, everybody else seeing the same stuff. I'm not saying anything different here.
Yep.
But our freshmen are huge.
Yeah.
Jaden Petit. How do you say?
He's a big boy.
Well, it's not just the thing is about him. He's tall, but he's not Jeremy Mead, and he's not Jaden Gibson. Okay, he's not this long stride lead player. That dude is going to be that dude moves very well. Yeah. Jonathan Hatton, 6'1", 2. He's the same size as Xavier. Just the way that they're moving at their size. Oh my golly. Yeah. And then Ryder, what's the
Ryder Mix?
That kid, another big kid. He's got these. I was just thinking of like future.
We're recruiting bigger dudes now. We truly are. Yeah,
they want height, weight, speed.
Jim Nagy, thank you.
Yeah, height, weight, speed. They're not compromised. The day of having 5'9", wide receivers, they're just, those gadget players. I think that's done. I think that's over. Those guys with Bo Bentley, that is, I don't follow recruiting too much. I don't get into the hype. I don't follow the drama. I don't care. Like, I want to see them I want to see the players that we got, and I want to see them on the field with their equals, their pairs, the people that they'll be playing against. And Jonathan Hatton, Jaden Petit, and Ryder Mix, wow. And Bo Bentley, wow. I mean, I try not to. Jake Cruel.
I mean, you can just keep naming people. It's right. There's down this roster.
I don't follow recruiting, but how the hell did we not finish like number 1? Like, who I want to know who the one was and see that.
We had to come off that 6 and 7 year, and there was so much negative recruiting.
But
they did great getting the top 15 recruiting class, honly.
Yeah,
and the guys that they did get and flipping Hatton there at the end. They're doing fine. Another winning season, Rob. Another winning season and potential playoff run, and I think we're like cooking for several years to come.
Already cooking, but
I know I'm like, I need to see it again.
Yeah,
last year was awesome.
Yeah,
I need to see it again. So no, I'm with you. The guys that are bringing in, they're longer, bigger. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah. I mean,
appreciate it, Jeff.
You can see it. I mean, I didn't know that, but you can see it. Like you can see the rooms just naturally just getting bigger. But I remember we talked about this, especially with the wide receiver room, where we were going after these 6'5" receivers and these tall receivers, but they had zero change of direction. Zero. Like they could not change direction to save their life. And when you're playing that receiver position, some of our best receivers, like Ryan Broyles, CeeDee Lamb, some of these historically great receivers, they can move. They can stop and go very damn quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And watching Jaden Petit, I'm like, he can stop and go, man. Like he's 6'4", 200 plus, and he's stopping and going like that. I don't know, man. That's a beast. That, as far as hype, I'm trying to push that down.
I know. It's hard because you hear stuff and you just want to
do, but with your eyes
but,
a little bit different. But you just push it down like they're just freshmen. But
Elijah Thomas, second year guy, great frame. He may have a breakout year. We've been waiting on some of these young receivers to have breakout years, and we keep having to pull in transfers because we haven't had developed guys. I'm really hoping the Elijah Thomas, the Pettits, these guys that you're mentioning really show up sooner than later. Manny Choice.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm with you. But I hope these guys show up sooner than later, and we've kind of turned the corner on some of that, maybe lack of recruiting, lack of evaluation. We're with you. Trell's going to be great. Trell, Cetania, Livingston, Terrell
Harris is one of my favorite transfer gets. And I loved watching him. And it wasn't the big one-handed grab that you see on the highlight reels and stuff. It was the way that he was in our offense, having two guys that can motion back and forth and be able to play inside and out is going to play so much versatility on our offense. To have a Cetania that can be outside in a slot, Terrell Harris that could be a slot and outside, and both of them understand spacing when you motion them across the field. As a defense, you're a back seven. Usually when you go into a week, there's maybe one guy that can do all of that on a team. Like when you're playing your opposing offense, usually they only have one guy that can be outside a slot, over here, motion there. We're going to have two guys that are going to be able to do that. And to be able to think through all the different route combinations that they, like us as an OU team that likes to play, and have both those guys moving around, and they both can take short routes out to 60 yards. Yeah. That's really good. And that's
causes issues for the defense.
I am high on Terrell Harris paired with Cetania and with a quarterback that's playing like a fifth-year senior. That's going to look good.
So let me ask you this. I'll sort of put you on the spot. You're the film guy, and you know this stuff. Dude, you got this stuff. You got this stuff down. So Deion Burks came in a couple of years ago. What's Terrell Harris, Deion Burks coming into the OU program?
I think Deion athletic profile is much higher. I think his ceiling to be a receiver is higher, but I think Terrell Harris is a much more complete receiver. I think he's going to have a bigger impact with this offense than Deion Burks. You go back to Deion Burks' first year, he had actually admitted a couple of times with this season with Jackson Arnold, he ran the wrong routes. Like that, it was his fault. He ran the wrong routes. And then you look at this last year, he had concentration drops. There was wide open plays where he just dropped the ball. I don't think you're going to see that with Terrell Harris. I think Deion Burks is a great explosive player when the ball is in his hands. Getting the ball to his hands, that's something different. But Terrell Harris, I think, is a more complete receiver. I think he understands spacing, especially with motion. He's from the field side. He's going the boundary. He's a boundary. He's going the field side. He knows where to be and when to be there. And that matters most when you're trying to make a successful breakdown of defense and be successful in stacking completions with your quarterback. And that's where I think that's why Mateer is like saying all these things. Like, I'm excited about this new crop of receivers and everything. Because I think once they start become creating that wavelength between each other, it's all about instincts and where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, I think Terrell Harris is going to be a bigger impact than Dion. But Dion definitely has a higher ceiling than Terrell Harris if I was looking at athletic profiles.
Okay. I'm glad I asked. That was perfect, man.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like our wide receiver room. I honestly feel like we have the like 6 to 9 guys like building up in there where you can depend. If you get banged up. Last year we had oh my gosh, his name's escaping me. The guy that ran into the brick wall.
Oh my gosh, he was a great player. Oh my god.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm forgetting your name right now. So him.
He was good. Oh,
yes.
Dude.
And he really was kind of under the radar.
I wish we had one more year with him.
Yes. So
Keonta's
guys
Lewis.
like that. Somebody's gonna like
it's Keonta's Lewis.
Thank you. So
yeah. Sorry.
So we've mentioned the main three, the Livingston, Cetania, Terrell Harris.
Yeah, it
you
is
always have to have that next wave of dudes just waiting for their opportunity to get on the field, and I think we have that. So, thanks, Galactic Bikes Real. I think we're thin in some rooms. I keep hearing we're thin at the safety room a little bit. We're thin at a couple other rooms, but I like the roster that Nagy, BV, and the rest of the staff has assembled. They've kind of addressed their needs. The offensive side is what we keep talking about. What have other than going and grabbing a Cam Coleman, Rob, what did they, and maybe another swing offensive lineman, did they really miss in the portal grabbing guys that can contribute?
I mean, looking at that portal, on the offensive side of the ball, are we specifically just
offensive?
I don't think you could have done. I mean, I don't know what the budget constraints are and stuff like that, but
we don't know all the
of course
numbers.
We want the Cam Coleman, right? Well, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we wouldn't want him, but
you can't overspend.
I think for what they did, especially what they have, I thought they did pretty well. Because I don't think you really needed much. Because again, most of the career starts were on that offensive side of the ball. You're not going to replace. You didn't need a running back because you had Jonathan Hatton. You didn't need a left tackle. You didn't need a quarterback. You didn't need a receiver one. So you're talking about all those pillars of playmakers and positions were already there. If you were gonna say if this was we needed a left tackle and they only brought in Marion Harris, who is not a left tackle, you'd be like, well, but we have all these pieces already put together. Like if you're building an offense, you need a quarterback, you need a left tackle, you need a receiver one, and you need running backs. We had them all. So I think they did good.
Hey, I wanted to sort of wrap up here at the end and make sure we hit some questions that are in the chat right now. There's one here. What are y'all's thoughts on Jonathan Hatton? Could he contribute this year? I'll start. You jump in here. Yeah, he can contribute. He's one of the better backs that have arrived on campus in several years. Is he going to take away X-Rob and Blaylock snaps? Maybe not in September. The dude's legit. So if he gets forced into a situation where you have your 1 and 2 banged up, let's see this guy. Torrey Blaylock had a great freshman year. There's nothing to say that Hatton can't be that similar guy that can come in and just take the reins and go. So I'm extremely excited for that guy to get on campus. So glad we flipped him at the last from A&M. We had him early. A&M took him. We got him late in the game. So yeah, I'm excited about Hatton. He's kind of the next, X-Rob and Blaylock will be out here in the next couple of years. He's the next wave. You gotta have 3 guys in that running back room, or 4, because that room gets, you tweak an ankle, man, and your sideline, high ankle sprain, you're out 6 weeks, right? So
at least
you have to have 4 guys in that room. And so I love the addition of Hatton. I expect him to contribute this year to answer the question. So
I think if you want him to, you're going to have 3 backs that are going to play, right? But if we want John Mateer to run less, and not hit, if we don't want John Mateer to have more than 100 attempts at running the football, then your third running back is going to be more important.
Sure.
So depending if they're doing exactly what they're saying they're doing, and that is dialing back John Mateer's run game, those snaps are going to end up going a little bit more to 1 and 2, but it's also going to push to your 3. So naturally, your third running back should get more if you're running back. I think John Mateer had like over 120 attempts at running the football. If you see those drop, then you should start to see your third running back start to get more carries as you go through the season. And then on top of, you've got guys that are getting banged up because your number one running back going through a 12-game season is going to get banged up and miss a game. Right. So that just pushes more snaps to the guy. Then you start to talk about his talent and that he won't be refused to take less snaps throughout the year. You're going to have to give him more because he's just too good to not give him more. So yeah, I think at the end, with all that being said, I think Jonathan Hatton's going to end up being a good rotational running back for us, and really the heir apparent to being RB1 here pretty quickly.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if the offensive line develops the way we think it can, with these guys getting second and third years under their belt, it may not matter who's at running back, right? You might potentially have holes that weren't there last year consistently. So, So another question. When was the last time we had a tight end room like this? Great question. Rob and I can sit here and ponder. It's been a minute. I don't even want to, I can't, that's a hard question to like research, and like, it's been, gosh.
Well, I mean, the last real tight end that we've had was Braden Willis, and that was
he's saying tight end room. So Braden Willis was a one-man show.
Right. I mean,
year,
let's hold up. We don't know exactly what we have just yet. I mean, it's spring. Yes, we got Hayden Hansen, who's kind of your run blocking, pass blocking tight end. Rocky Beers, who I am high on from Colorado State. And, let's hold up, but you got to start where Braden Willis left. Because that was the last tight end. I mean, he played quarterback for us.
He always pops in my head. That was 6 years ago.
That was 6 years ago?
I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out. It feels like it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Man,
when did Tebow leave? 2021?
No. We had Stogner at one point.
It's been a while, man. Time flies. I'm telling you. Willis, I swear to God, was 2021.
Didn't do anything for us when he
2021
came back.
Was Willis.
I think it was 2021. No.
Am I wrong? When did Tebow leave?
No, he was here with us after Tebow.
After Tebow? Okay. Let's just go 2022.
With us in 2022 with Dylan Gabriel and Levy. Levy's year. Yeah, I'll have to look. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's something we can get. We'll try to do a little research.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a while.
It has been a minute.
Point is,
absolutely.
It's been a while.
Great question. So,
to have a competent, or expecting a competent tight end room, it's been at least since 2022.
Jeff has another question. Hey, Jeff, I don't think I've seen you on here before, so man, I really appreciate your questions today. I like these. So you tied in you with Jason Witten. I like this question because Jason came in and we immediately, of course, secured his son as 2027 linebacker, Cooper Witten, right? Just because, hey, son, you're following me, whatever, I don't care. And then we go get the number one tight end in the 2027 class. names escaping me. Rob, I'm depending on you here. Who's that tight end we're getting
I
next
just
year?
told you I don't follow.
So that's bugging me. Some I promise someone will chime in here in the chat. But we scored one of the top tight ends in the country. So yeah, the Jason Witten effect is, thank you, driver. Seneca Driver.
Seneca Driver. Yes.
We got the best listeners and chatters. So thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. You make up for Rob's ignorance all the time. So I appreciate that. This is where you're supposed to laugh, but you didn't.
Sorry. I was reading something.
just teasing. Yeah. Seneca Driver, one of the best tight ends in the class next year. Wow. Dude. What a difference! What a difference a year makes, man. You bring in a Hall of Fame tight end. His name alone brings in the best linebacker, the best tight end. You know, if he can be a good to better than good coach, holy crap! What did we just hire in that room? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Should have made the move a long time ago.
It's cool. Yeah, we should have. It's probably 1 or 2 years delayed. You're right there. You're speaking the obvious. No, not a hard question, Stevie. So I appreciate that. What else we got here? Sorry, I'm getting into all these questions today, Rob. You're probably like, shut up, dude.
No, I'm good. Let's do it.
I'm looking for others that I missed. Oh, wow. Is this true? Jimmy. What? Thanks, Jimmy. Hatton's 230?
Yeah.
As a freshman?
Jimmy's right.
Dude.
Yeah. Tony, he's as big as X-Rob.
Oh.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, oh my gosh, really?
Yes.
So, we sit here and talk about the depth chart, and I moved Hatton to third before even like the dude stepped on campus just because of what I was hearing. And he's already 230.
Yes. Watching those James Hale clips, like I watched a clip of him and I'm like, that kid is a big kid. Like that is not. I was like, he's definitely over 6 foot, but I'm like, that is a big kid. And so I looked it up. Jimmy's right. He's listed at 230.
Dang.
And he, like I said, he's as big as X-Rob, but he moves. The way he moves is
he's fluid, dude.
He's loosey goosey, man.
Yeah.
Like he's flipping those hips and turning and stopping and going. Like it's not. He can move, man. I don't. That's what I was saying. Like I don't think he's gonna be refused to take a back seat. Like he's just gonna be too good. You're gonna have to give him. I'm not saying he's gonna be top dog. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be alpha or even beta, but I'm just gonna say like coaches are gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna put Jonathan in here.
Yeah,
let's throw him in there.
Well, it's like Torrey last year, right? Torrey emerged. And that's all we're asking. Guys get banged up, guy gets an opportunity and he takes it and runs with it. That's all we're saying. And this guy's got the ability to do that. Ooh, another question here, Rob, that I'm gonna sort of put you on the spot here. I love this. Thanks, Jeff. Is that can Arbuckle evolve from RP to an SEC offense? I was talking about the balance earlier. So can he adjust?
Can Arbuckle evolve from I mean, we're going to run RPOs. RPOs are going to be a part of the offense. Like, that's not going away. If anything, we want them to, when they call them,
pick and choose,
be better.
Right? Pick and choose.
Well, you're going to end up, there's going to be plays where you're going to just hand the ball off and run the ball, right? That's kind of like your conservative, your first down plays or whatever. But RPOs are a huge part of this offense. Like, they're not just going to scrap it. What you're hoping for is the instincts of 1,000 reps upon 1,000 reps from a fifth-year senior. The instincts are there to be warp speed processing to get the ball out of his hands fast to his playmakers. That's it. But RPOs are not going anywhere. And what you see as like an SEC offense, like you look at Chambliss at Ole Miss and the success that he's had, he gets the ball out of his hands. they run a crazy amount of RPOs. That Lane Kiffin is an RPO offense. Like RPOs are going to be a part of our offense. Like that's not going to change. What you want to see change is the instincts built on thousands upon thousands of reps from a fifth-year senior that leads to good decisions, fast decisions of getting the ball out of his hands to his playmakers, taking the free grass. You're looking for access. Because the defense can't cover everything. There's no defense that's ever been constructed in football that can defend every blade of grass. If you're a well-equipped offense with a quarterback that is instinctual, they find the open grass. And that's what RPOs do for you. It's a tool. We need to turn that tool into a weapon. Fifth-year senior material. That's what we want to see next year.
Yep. Thanks. I knew I wasn't going to be able to touch that question. So I was like, God, I hope Rob can chime in here.
RPOs aren't going away. I know there's a lot of people that hate them, love them. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a beef with them. I have a beef with them when you've got a quarterback that can't run it and you run it anyways. But here's the thing, like that is a part of this offense. You have to run the RPO. Yeah. You have to. It's a part. I mean, we run like 30 RPOs a game at least, at a minimum, maybe more.
Yep.
Out of your 60 plays or so.
Yeah. Another question here. I know y'all are talking football today, but softball. Did y'all see Texas softball Mike White today? Hilarious. No, but I'm gonna have to go see what he did. And I see y'all are chiming in on some other stuff here. Hey, when we're talking football, please interrupt us to talk about Mike White, the douche. That's his nickname, the douche. Texas softball coach is the douche. So you can't say his name without his complete name. Someone corrected someone on TFB the other day.
He's White, an interesting guy,
the
man.
Douche. So no, I will have to go see that apparently. And I'm scrolling on down here. So maybe he kicked. It was acting like a crybaby. Oh, here we go. Kicking dirt on home plate.
Really
good stuff, man. I'm gonna have to go check this out because he's a dude, man. He's a weird cat. I love that we have Patty. Patty has owned his ass except for last year when we had a down year. We win 4 straight. Yeah, you're gonna have a down year every now and then.
Yes.
So, yeah. Patty lives rent free in Mike White's head. I guarantee you.
God, yeah, I know.
So it's good stuff. I'm hoping.
So weird. He's just a weird guy.
He is a weirdo, especially with his Australian accent too. He always throws me off when he starts talking. I scrolled through, Rob, man. I'm trying to get on top of these. All the great questions today, guys. Especially for off season, man. No football going on. This is awesome. Yeah. So. I think we answered most of them.
Okay.
What else? Heard anything else? I know we said we'll got the draft in here in about a month. We'll have a special pod on that.
Sure.
Spring game coming up here in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to talk about. Well, I'm sure today was Hype Train, leaving the station. I forgot the title of it, but after the spring game, there'll be plenty of chatter, whether it's from Brent, whether it's from media, whoever. They'll be like, did you see what so-and-so did today? You and I were at one when we first started this podcast. Has it been 2 years or 3 years?
It's been 2 3 years. You blank.
Yeah. So
2 years.
2 years. We were sitting at the spring game together. Boganowski showed up, and then cool. Who was the linebacker we lost? Lewis, that just looked like a specimen on the field. Lewis Carter. We're like, dude, look at that dude, Lewis Carter. I'm like, look at him.
Yeah.
And then Almasigo, we're like, check him out. You can just see things firsthand that you don't. We don't get to sit in the spring practices every day. You go to the spring game, and all of a sudden you're like, who's that guy? So that'll definitely happen here in a few weeks. There'll be some guys that no one knew about, which is awesome. Yep. So I'm looking forward to our post-spring game. We may bring Charlie on. Charlie, if you're listening, you're coming on after the spring game. So yeah, a lot going on this next month. with spring practice and everything else going on, draft and you name it. So I don't have anything else. Do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
And I know it's way too late. I was supposed to say it about an hour ago, but please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
So I always screw that up. Hey, I appreciate everyone that listened in today, all the comments, all the questions. Rob and I wouldn't want to come in if y'all weren't chiming in with all your questions. That's just what makes it enjoyable and fun and interactive. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we will catch y'all maybe in a couple of weeks. May take off Easter. So thanks everyone. Take care.
Yeah. Enjoy Easter. Boomer.
Yep. Boomer.
That's my standard. That's my standard. My champion standard. Champion standard. Pull away the answers. Yeah, the answers. The champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah. I be in the field, ready, set the goal. 7 rings, we way too cold. Hand my jersey up, it's greatness overload. We show up every time, rain, sleet, hail, snow. Young and all, boom with chest, know we straight shooters. Topics, we don't put no punches, we give it right to you. Champion standard, can't label us no losers. Soon as you touch down, we show you how we do it, yeah. Life always feel better when you living as a champ. Cause my standard that I always be the man. Stay high in demand, stay humble, that's the plan. Cause you know we make bands, that's my standard.